Hello, I am Amy and this is Kirsty, my sister, and this is Hannah, our other sister as well. We farm together on Shetland and we're here to tell you about our story and the journey we've come from to make us here today. This is our farm in the photo. You can see we've got the fields over here in the square, that's our sheds, and then we've got that beautiful beach which joins the island to our farm, where we keep about 200 sheep all year round. Our dad died 5 years ago and it left us with big decisions to make. There were 90 cows and 240 sheep waiting for us to look after them, and we had to decide what we wanted to do. We both knew our gut feeling was to take on the farm and keep it going. As it had been in our family for around 5 generations, we couldn't just let that slip. Kirsty was at university and I was at school, so I decided to leave school and come home to work on the farm. Kirsty finished university and helped on the farm, allowing me to go to college in Aberdeen at Craibston. That has been the best 3 years of my life. I learned so much and I got a lot out of the experience out of college as well. I made the most of my time and I got a part-time job on a farm just outside Aberdeen, which helped me with the practical experience, and it was amazing just looking at somebody else's farm and getting really good tips on what to do there. And also it just gave me a great experience of meeting new folk, meeting new friends. I've made lifelong friends and some great memories to take home with me. So I do encourage you all to look at higher education, and it was just really good to try out a new place as well. You've got nothing to lose, home is always there, so just really put yourself out there. The grief was really tough to deal with after Dad died. Our emotions were high and I felt like crying every day. But having the farm really kept us going. It gave us a reason to get up every day when you just wanted to stay in your bed, as the cattle and sheep weren't going to feed themselves. We couldn't have done this without the support of our family, especially our granddad and our uncles, and our sister and our mum, very importantly. They are still involved as Granddad helps every day and our uncles fix the machinery after our many mishaps. Learning about the machinery has been the biggest learning curve, and we have been shown how to drive, but then we're left to it. So we have learned to be quite independent and just enjoy the role of learning and going through everyday jobs. This year was very interesting as it was my first time on the plough and the combine harvester. Before now I would have been scared, but after all the experience we've been through, I love the responsibility and I feel great pride in working the land and knowing I planted the seeds which turns out to the crop and which are fed to our stock and sold to our neighbours.
We have experienced farming as a gamble. We are constantly trying new things which can be scary, as whatever we choose to do will affect our business firsthand, but we need to be bold and just go for it. We've started fattening all our lambs and we sell them directly to an abattoir rather than putting them to a market. And this has given us a better understanding of feeding animals and what the consumer is looking for in an end product. This year, an opportunity arose for us to send our lambs to the mainland to be fattened in the autumn. On paper, it seemed like a great idea and all the sums worked out. So a group of us, I think it was 5 different farmers, got together and we put down 1,200 lambs down to the borders. Unfortunately, the farmer ran out of grass. So the lambs did not perform as well as we'd hoped, and after a visit that Aimee made a few weeks ago, he admitted that the lambs had to be moved on. We've been left with a hefty bill to pay, and luckily one of our friends managed to find another farm to take on our lambs. This will have an impact on the slim margin that we make on these lambs, but thankfully with the Brexit date being pushed back, the sheep industry is safe enough for the next few months. This was a big risk that we took. It was something that we'd never done before. Our granddad was very sceptical of how it would go, and obviously it hasn't really worked so far. And that pressure is on us. So now we just need to wait to see what the market does to know how our lamb margin will do this year. This year, following advice, we also doubled the inputs on our barley. But with the excellent spring, this meant that the crop grew too tall, and eventually some of it fell flat, with one field being so bad we couldn't even get the grain off it, and had to call in a neighbour to mow it. This was devastating, as it meant we couldn't sell the grain, and it means that our business has a lot less cash just now coming in. I felt horrible because it was all my fault, as I didn't put the correct spray on at the correct time, and by the time we realised that it had gone wrong, then we were too late to put on the correct spray. If I'd done it correctly, then it would have been standing up and we would have had that cash coming into our business. I felt like a failure, but it has motivated me to do better next year. This shows it is important to learn from your mistakes and you'll always improve.
Now we're going on to our top tips. So our first one is listen to advice but make your own decisions. Shetland has close-knit communities, especially the farming community, which we are heavily involved in. We have had amazing support from our community, and it is great to know we have neighbours who we can ask for help or advice anytime. We like to listen to the advice and consider if it is something we would like to implement on our farm, but we always make sure we're making the decisions. Following discussions at our monitor farm meetings, we took advice from consultants and neighbours to alter our inputs for crops. Andrew Slee, the farmer who I worked for while I was at college, has helped us weekly from suggesting we grow napes to barley advice and general day-to-day jobs. It is great to have someone I know I can pick up the phone and have a chat to.
Our next tip is to take a break. In amongst everything we do, we feel that it's very important to take a break. Whether it's a holiday, a day off, or a weekend away, sometimes the best ideas come from getting out of the workplace and not having the stress of everyday jobs to do. So we encourage you to take a break. Get away from the stress and switch off. You will come back refreshed with new ideas, which I think can be valuable to your business. I've probably been away nearly every month. I think I'm too young to be working all the time with no rest. I've had a lot of great opportunities in life which have allowed me time off the island, but also to catch up with my friends from university. Life is far too short. Our dad loved to go on a family holiday and he always made time for it. Make some time for things that you like to do. We are both keen horse riders, and for the last few years we have gone to the Highland Show to compete our ponies. Horse riding is the perfect way to relax after a busy day working, but it also gives you something to focus on, which helps me to switch off from farming. Although farming is seen as a way of life, which it is, it's also a job, and you're running a business. It's not healthy to work every single day. Following a farm visit earlier this year when we went to Orkney, I was keen to work out how many days I've had off the farm this year. As everyone always says, farming is a 365-day-a-year job. And this quickly totaled to more than 20, so I've had more than 20 days off the farm this year. And this shows that although you might think that you're far too busy to take a day off, it is possible, and everything will tick along until you return. And we like to think, work hard, play hard.
Our next tip is to socialise. One of the biggest successes we have had this year is restarting the Shetland Young Farmers Club. After being so involved in young farmers while I was at college, I was motivated to get this going in Shetland, as I felt like there was a lot of young people needing that opportunity and they were interested in farming, so we needed just to get a group to get together. It has been over 10 years since the last club was running in Shetland. It is great to provide new opportunities for young folk in Shetland. We have done stock judging, clay pigeon shooting, farm visits, we had a dinner dance and many more. It's amazing to see folk getting involved in something new and trying different things. Living on Shetland can be isolating and lonely, but by giving rural folk a place to come together, we have helped to combat this. We have made 2 weekend trips to Orkney and we are looking into mainland trips and exchanges. We encourage you to get involved in your local clubs, especially young farmers, as we have found new friendships and relationships have been formed between like-minded young folk. And remember, it's not just for folk who wear wellies.
Our next tip is to talk about it. We all know that farming can be a lonely job. The shocking statistics around suicides in farming speak for themselves, with huge financial pressures and changing markets resulting in inconsistent cash flow. Farming is not for the faint-hearted. It is important to have someone who you can pick up the phone and chat to. By surrounding yourself with motivational people, they will help pick you up when you're feeling down. With farming, it can be easy to beat yourself up about the mistakes you've made or not getting a good sale price at the market. And we recently took our lambs to the market 6 weeks ago, and they were only bid up to £54, where we were hoping for at least £60. Luckily, we were in a position to hold on to them, so we took them home, we put them on some neeps, and we sent them to slaughter last week, where we were paid an average of £73 for them. Sometimes there is a silver lining with every dark cloud. Having people around you to talk to is only beneficial if you are willing to open up. As difficult as it can be to start the conversation about how you are feeling, your friends and family are there to listen. And when they're not, there are a few special charities who provide excellent services, such as the RSABI for the farming community. They will also provide financial help to farmers who need a boost during difficult times. So, make time to ask how your friends are. Make time to sit down, have a cup of tea, and a quick chat, as you might just make someone feel 100 times better.
And our last tip is, don't let social media get you down. When we were initially asked to appear on the BBC's This Farming Life, we did not know what to expect. We were both really keen, and I especially, but we made the decision to go for it. We set out to show the real side of farming and not the glorified Instagram version. We wanted to highlight the struggles we face on a small Scottish island, while also showing that we can produce, and that Shetland is not just a rough hill land with a few Shetland ponies and sheep. We never thought it would result in so many media interest in our story. Social media has had many positives for us, as it has connected to many customers, and now we sell beef direct to folk after advertising on Facebook. It has also allowed us to share our story and show the hard work that goes into producing high quality food, which is reared under the best welfare standards in the world. But with the glitz and glam of Instagram and Twitter, there's a huge pressure to continue to post regularly, and it is all too easy to become hooked on the number of likes your post gets. Scrolling through various social media sites has become a bad habit of many these days. And who can help but feel a tiny bit jealous of the farmer with the new shed or the 200 horsepower tractor? Never mind who's wearing what at the Highland Show. One of the best things I did this year was leaving my phone in the car at the airport when we went to Spain for a week. This allowed me to completely switch off from the world and forget about the pressures of social media. It gave me time to quietly think, reflect, and really enjoy the company I was in.